Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is day 2 of our Christmas series. If you missed my video from yesterday, I'm going to be uploading 25 days of nails for the month of December. And we're also going to be doing 20 days of so make sure you guys do not miss out. Subscribe, like, comment, everything that you need to do in order to be a part of this insane season that we're about to get started in. That being said, we're going to be doing my lovely friend's nails. I have recruited a few of my friends to let me do their nails for the purpose of doing some good tutorials for you guys. So for today's video, I'm very excited to be showing you guys how simple it is to do the icicle nail that is very, very popular in the winter time, along with just all the wintry white neutral vibes. I'm obsessed with how her set turned out. They're also her birthday nails, so give her a huge shout out for her birthday. It is a little early, but these are going to be her birthday nails as well, so we wanted to kind of incorporate that into her set also. That being said, I want to give a huge shout out to my girl that came up with the series name. So if you missed it yesterday, how to enter the was basically naming the series of 25 nail days for my channel. And my girl said Feliz Navidad, and that is actually spelled with V-E-E. So I want to let you guys know that this was one of mine and Sergio's ideas. So when somebody actually brought it up, I was like, you know what? It's meant to be. She was pretty quick on the response as well, commenting very early on after I posted the video. So that was definitely like a little cheesy, but I absolutely love the name of it. My girl, Nails by Cena, congratulations. I'm going to be sending you these small mystery box from Not Polish. It does have a little bit of products in there. However, I'm going to be filling it all the way up till there's no more room in there with a ton more products that I have for you. So congratulations. Without further ado, let's get right into the video. Getting right into today's video, we're going to be starting off by prepping my lovely client's nails. For today's video, we are recruiting another one of my friends. She is also my lovely coworker, so I'm going to leave all her socials linked down below as well. And if you guys are in the area, always make sure to hit up my girls for any nail appointments. If you guys are interested, they are open to taking new clients. And I'll be able to see you guys, so definitely make sure you guys make appointments with them. I'm going to be going in with my natural nail filing process. I'm using my Efile at a speed of 4,000 RPMs. Along with that, I'm using the mandrel bit and sanding band, both from Profiles Backstage. The sanding band is medium grit, but they are very, very fine, so it will not do any damage. I'm just gently pushing back her cuticles using this step as well. Her nails are a little on the damaged side, so I'm just going to make sure that they are not being filed on a lot. Honestly speaking, her nails reminded me a lot of the condition that my nails are in right now. She just took off her nails, so I'm going to be extra careful that they are not being overfiled. Once I'm done with that, I'm actually going in with this tapered bit. I've been using this instead of the needle bit that I typically use. I need to go ahead and order that, as I've mentioned in my previous videos. But I'm going to go in and just remove that excess dead skin from around her cuticle area and making sure that we prevent lifting by all means, and it's going to definitely help with that. Again, still at 4,000 RPMs, very light pressure when doing this process. I'm going to be going in with this cuticle ball bit. This is just going to help buff off any dead skin from her actual cuticles. I'm not going in like with too much pressure. Still at 4,000 RPMs. You could always up it to 5,000 if you feel like the 4,000 RPMs isn't doing its job. And then of course you could always cut, trim, or nip any of the skin off. I, however, do not like doing that, but now thinking about it, I probably could have on hers. She actually nips off her cuticles, and I definitely could have done that, at least tried it out at least on one of her nails. Now applying the tips. These are my all-time favorite square tips. When she said do square, I about jumped out of my chair with excitement because I love square nails, especially when they're long. I feel like they just look so perfect. So if you guys ask me what my favorite shape is, it's definitely square or tapered square with really long nails. I'm going to be applying that with my Young Nails brush on glue. These tips are from Amazon, so don't be sleeping on Amazon. I have them linked in my Amazon storefront and I absolutely freaking adore them. So definitely recommend them. I will obviously leave all the products linked down below in the description box. But now I'm taking my nail tip cutters and I'm just going to be trimming off the excess tip. She did show me where she wanted the length. She's been rocking really short nails, so I was definitely really excited that she let me do semi sort of long nails. I know these are long nails, but for me, they're definitely medium length. I get them all the way, don't even cut the tips. That's my length. So I'm just going to be trimming those about halfways. And I'm going to be taking my hand file and filing the sides and the tip as well, just to make sure that everything is nice, straight, and perfectly shaped out. Now I'm going to be going in with my Efile once again, same sanding band and mandrel bit that I previously used, and I'm going to be blending in that tip to her natural nail, specifically because we're going to be doing lots of light colors, and I want to make sure that that gets fully covered and there's no tip kind of peeking through, especially when they're a little bit on the thicker side. These are pretty thin, but I still, however, wanted my application to go on there flawlessly. We're going to be taking the lint-free wipes and a little bit of Young Nail Swipe and just cleaning her natural nail and removing any excess dust. Next, I'm going in with the acrylic primer from Kiara Sky. It's been my go-to, definitely really love it. I'm going to be adding a thin coat of that onto her natural nail, making sure that I am not getting it on her skin, and definitely making sure that it's a nice and thin layer. I want it to not interfere with my acrylic application. If you apply it a little bit too thick, it does kind of seep around that cuticle area and it makes it kind of hard to get nice and flush to that cuticle with your acrylic. So always make sure that you're using very thin coats, especially with this product. Now we are back at it again with a freestyle set. We kind of bounced back and forth between different ideas. These are her birthday nails as well, so I wanted to make sure that we got exactly what she envisioned for her birthday nails. So she knew that this was going to be a Christmas related video and she gave me the option to do either or. So we're going to be doing a nice little mix of it, and as always when I'm doing a freestyle set of nails, I always try to at least get a certain idea of what they want color wise at least, to kind of go based off of that, and so they at least, you know, really like their nails. Instead of me picking an orange color, if they don't like orange, it will make me feel like crap. So we are going with a winter wonderland type of theme, which is my absolute favorite. So I'm adding this beautiful glitter acrylic from Not Polished that is at the tip. And then we're going to be using light sand from Not Polished as well for the nude color. I really love the nude against her skin. I felt like it was a really good option. So we went ahead and used that. Her nude of choice is typically Nude Panther, but I use that a lot, so I wanted to try something a little bit different. And this one definitely went really well with her skin tone. So definitely glad that I chose that. And now before I forget, because I always forget to mention my acrylic brush, this one is a size 14 from Kiara Sky. I believe it's the pink one. And then I'm just adding a little bit of these little starburst type of glitters. So like I mentioned, I kind of go nail by nail. I honestly never have an idea what I'm doing. So I'm going to be creating a base that if I want to leave the nail naked, it still gives a nice design. So we're adding that glitter, and then we're going to be adding those little stars. In case I don't know what to do on that nail, I could always just put shiny top coat on it and call it a day. But I ended up covering most of the base nails anyways, as you guys will probably see towards the end. So for the ring finger, I knew we were doing Winter Wonderland theme, and I decided to do the typical icicle nail. That is like a staple when it comes to Christmas nails. I absolutely adore the look of them. They look so good, and not to mention that they are super easy to create. I feel like a lot of the time we overthink designs like this. So for our nail, our actual acrylic nail, we're going to be using Milky White from Not Polish, adding that to the top portion of the nail and blending it downwards towards the clear tip. And then for the clear portion, I'm just going to be using the Not Polish clear acrylic to infill and add that thickness that we obviously need. I can't leave the tip without acrylic, so we're just going to be using that to encapsulate the ombre and add that thickness that we need for the clear tip. I'm just using very light tapping motions. We're not really moving it a lot. The acrylic does a really good job about self-leveling. Honestly, it is perfection, so definitely recommend their products always. And I'm going to be taking the pure white from Not Polish. It's just their white acrylic, using clear as well. And I'm going to be creating like a smoky type of marble design. This also gives me huge like ice type of vibes. So I wanted to incorporate that in the set as well. Not to mention marble nails just look super pretty in general. Again, this is going to be our base. If I want to leave it naked, it will still look really, really good. So I'm just kind of ensuring that I have a good base nail, and then we'll go from there. Again, using that color light sand and ombreing it downwards, I wanted to make sure that I concealed her natural nail growth. She has very little, but it still can be see-through. So I want to make sure that I'm adding that just to kind of conceal it a little bit and make it look a little bit more clean. And like I mentioned, that nude color was like the perfect option for it. I know I didn't really explain the process of the marble. I've showed it a ton on my other videos, so if you guys want a more in-depth video, look for another marble video and I'll definitely explain it thoroughly. But I'm typically just grabbing my brush with a little bit of monomer, dipping into my clear, and then in my white. If you're using white and black, always dip in the white first and then in the black. Same with any other color, always dip before in your lighter color and then in the darker color, and then you could just lay it onto the nail, drag it upwards, downwards, to the side, up, like whatever direction you want, and it'll naturally kind of just smoke itself out on its own. As long as you're kind of just dabbing it into the area you want it to go, it'll naturally blend itself together and create that type of smoky marble effect that we want to get. And then for the index finger, we're just doing a basic white nail. I accidentally started using the Milky White, and then I grabbed the pure white one. So I just kind of blended the two together. You can't even tell, honestly speaking. But I noticed that I grabbed the wrong white. So I'm making sure that I'm letting you guys know that I messed up. It worked out just fine. The white blended perfectly into the Milky White, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But I just thought it was kind of funny how I did that. So we're just gonna be making sure that that cuticle area is nice and perfect. Now I'm going to be going in and finish filing her nails with my 5-in-1 bit. My Efile is at about 11,000 RPMs. I'm using very light pressure when I'm doing this. I'm going side to side, horizontally on the nail around that cuticle area and making sure that that is nice and flush. And then I'm just going to kind of go all over the place on the nail to make sure that everything is nice and smooth. Always, always, always remember to hold their finger nice and tight. I'm stabilizing my handpiece with my pinky. I always tend to do that no matter what process I'm doing, just to make sure that I have good hold of whatever object I'm using. Especially with this, you want to make sure that you are holding it nice and tight so that it doesn't go all over the place and you don't accidentally hurt yourself or your client. I'm going to be going in with my hand file and filing the sides, making sure that that shape is nice and crisp. And as you guys can notice that I kind of pulled back her skin just to make sure that there's no acrylic sticking under there and I don't accidentally cut her. Just how we kind of pull back the skin from after we apply the nail tip to her nail. You want to make sure you're kind of doing that as well and aware that there's no acrylic stuck to the underneath of it. I'm going to be going in and just filing it, making sure everything is nice and perfect. And I'm actually going to be showing you guys how I file the tip on a client. I was able to kind of show you a little bit of that footage. Surprisingly, I was in frame when I did that process. So then next I'm going to be flipping the hand around to look at the nails from her perspective. And then we're going to be squaring off that tip nice and perfectly. For the thumb, I actually hold it in this position right there. And I file it upwards like that, since it can be a little bit tricky to kind of flip it around. And then for the rest of the nails, I'm actually going to be flipping it around like so, and then going back and forth, holding her finger very, very still. I want to make sure that you guys understand that you want to hold it super, super strong so that it doesn't wiggle back and forth and cause discomfort. I had my other friend, the one that I did her nails the other day, she actually mentioned that I did a really good job about holding her finger nice and still. So definitely always make sure that you guys are focusing on that and not causing any type of pain on your client. I'm going to be going in with the Makartt buffer and just buffing off the surface of the nail, making sure everything is nice and smooth for the nail art portion. Taking another lint-free wipe and a little bit of Young Nail Swipe, we're going to be cleaning the surface of the nail and her cuticle area as well, just removing all that excess dust, making sure that the underneath as well is nice and clean, as we're going to be doing some nail art under there. So I'm going to be going in and just cleaning that up nicely, and then we're going to be getting started into the nail art. We're getting started with the nail art nice and strong. I'm actually taking the BB gel from Profiles Backstage. It's a thicker gel that I feel like works perfectly for this type of design. Next, I'm taking a plastic bag, saran wrap, whatever you guys have accessible. Just make sure that it is plastic because it won't stick to the gel. And I'm just scrunching it up first, and then I'm gonna be taking just the back of a bit and pushing it in so that it is nice and stuck on there. Now I'm going to be taking the little flash cure light from Profiles Backstage. I overthought this process, not even going to lie. I was scared that it wasn't going to work. Taking that little handheld light and curing that into place nicely. I honestly held it on there for probably 10 seconds. And then I peeled back the plastic part just to kind of be nosy. And it worked. It worked perfectly. So as you can see, I just pulled it back very nicely, removed the excess gel, and then all you have to do is cure it a little bit longer. And of course, you're going to be placing the hand back into the light, your actual big LED light. So you don't have to worry about it not being cured enough. It's going to be going back in there anyways. So I'm just kind of removing the sides so that it's not sticking out, but it worked out beautifully, and you'll be able to see like all the detail once I'm done with the design. For her index finger, I'm adding some bling. These are her birthday nails, so we want to add some bling, of course. I'm just going to be doing my typical go-to little center type of design using a big crystal in the center, and this one's just diamond shaped, and then smaller crystals around, kind of creating like a line down the center of the nail, and then just adding tiny ones as well. These crystals I've bought forever ago, and I honestly haven't used a lot of them, so that's why I still have stock of them. But these are Swarovski crystals. I know we don't have access to them anymore, so I'll definitely be searching for some good ones for you guys. And then the big crystals as well, I actually grabbed from the Not Polished Crystals. They used to sell boxes of crystals and now they don't. But I have found alternatives on Amazon, so I will leave those linked down below as well. Once I'm done with my application of the crystals, I'm taking a brush and brushing off the excess gel from around so that it's not super bulging out. Sometimes that can look really, really ugly once you top coat it. So just brush it out, thin it out on those areas, and then you'll be able to top coat nicely. And you won't even be able to tell that there's a seam on that. I'm going to be top coating these nails because, again, I don't know what I'm doing, but I knew I wanted to add some texture. So I'm just top coating them to ensure that I don't forget to do it later. Once that is nice and matte, I did use Matte from Not Polished for those that are curious. I'm going to be going in with the white gel paint from Profiles Backstage. This is their frosting gel paint. I'm taking the Not Polished nail liner brush and doing a line, and then I'm infilling with a thicker brush. This is just your typical poly gel brush, or really any gel type of brush. They're thicker and definitely more stiff, so I really like these for like covering a larger portion of nail. Cured that in the light for 60 seconds. Now I'm going in with a second coat of matte because I completely forgot that I wanted that matte background. So next we're going to be switching to the other hand, and I'm going to be doing a similar type of design. This time we're going to be doing half of the nail white. And of course, we're going to be doing sweater nails for those if you didn't understand from the process of the nail art. That is exactly what I'm doing and going for. So we're going to be adding that same white gel paint to half of the nail, curing that for 60 seconds, and then I'm going to be adding matte over top of that as well. So in hindsight, I honestly did not have to top coat first, but I will say it did make a difference with the application of the paint. I feel like it went on there a lot smoother than if I would have gone in there directly on the acrylic. So definitely liked that process as well. Now we're going to be going in and doing the little diagonal lines for our cable knit sweater type of design. Don't overthink it. I feel like I do that a lot of the time and they're just simple little lines. I actually ended up hating the way that I applied it, so I wiped it off and now we're going in again and redoing it because we want perfection, okay? We definitely want to make sure that they are perfect, and that is okay. If you need to wipe it off, go ahead and wipe it off and start over. Do not settle for your designs. And then I'm going to be connecting them. I know you can't kind of see it, but you guys get the gist of it. I feel like I've showed it a lot on my channel, but I do apologize for covering that angle when I was doing that. Now we're taking clear acrylic and applying that to the wet gel, and then we're going to be curing that in the light, dusting off the excess. Once that is nice and finished, I'm going in with the rest of the details for that same nail. I'm going in with one diagonal line, and then I'm going to be adding a snowflake kind of coming out of that line. And for this one, I'm actually going to be adding glitter. So we're going to be sugaring on some glitter. The glitter is from Profiles Backstage. I've had this one forever, and I'll definitely try to find the same one, but it has a very light shimmer, super micro fine glitter, which is perfect for sugaring because it's not going to cause too much texture, and it definitely won't get caught like chunkier glitters do. So definitely recommend a micro fine glitter for that, but I'm sure that they still sell it. It came in a tiny little tower with a bunch of different ones, and I am obsessed with all of them, honestly, and I use them all the time during the winter. Same process on this one. I went ahead and did the cable knit type of design, added some dots, sugaring on some clear acrylic. We're going to be placing that in the light. Once we are out of the light and everything is nice and cured, I'm going to be going in with those extra little details. Also going to be sugaring some glitter on those. Honestly speaking, a lot of these designs are very repetitive, but I love including them in my videos because it gives you just a different version of the endless possibilities that you can do with the exact same designs, and it gives a whole different look. So snowflakes and sweater nails are super typical when it comes to the winter time, but you can absolutely change an entire set using the same designs, just different ways. So always try to use your creativity. I know it's so hard, but definitely try to look for inspo online. When you're shopping, wherever you're at, just keep your eyes open and try to use whatever art you find anywhere you're at as inspo, and I promise you it definitely helps. Now y'all know I had to add some icicles in there as well. We're going to be using that same white gel paint. I'm going to be doing kind of like a pointy type of drip. And I'm making sure that that point is nice and pointy, not rounded, because I feel like an icicle is nice and sharp. So we're going to be doing like a jagged type of icicle. and then tiny versions of that. And then on the wet gel paint, we're gonna be sugaring on that same glitter that I used on the other ones. And I feel like it was such a perfect touch for the nails. It just added that extra little detail that we needed through this set. And my Sagittarius babes, where are y'all at? Comment down below. We are going to be doing the Sagittarius sign for her nails. She is a Sagittarius queen. Her birthday is this month, as I mentioned earlier, so we had to include that. I honestly didn't even think to include that, and then she mentioned it, and I was all for it. We definitely love the vibes. So we're gonna be doing that little arrow, and then kind of just making it nice and thick. And then we're gonna square off the edges of it by simply just drawing it. And then I'm actually gonna be taking my gel brush and cleaning it off to square off that little edge of all of the little edges, honestly. And you'll kind of see me doing that as well. And now on that wet gel paint, we're gonna be sprinkling on that same glitter, popping that back into the light for another 60 seconds. Always make sure you thoroughly cure it for 60 seconds. I am using my Kiara Sky LED light for that. And then for the other nail, she is from the year 1987. So we're gonna be adding that to her nails. I am so excited about how these turned out, not even gonna lie. So at first I was gonna do like Old English lettering. And then we were like, no, this is a super dainty, wintry, cute type of nail art design. So we had to add some script in there. And I honestly just Googled script font numbers and I went with that. So if you guys are ever struggling with any type of lettering, just Google it. It is gonna make a huge difference on whether you do it correctly or not and whether it's gonna look cute or not. So we're gonna be doing a dainty little 8. Not even gonna lie, it was kind of a struggle to get those nice curved lines nice and even. But since we're gonna be sugaring glitter on there anyways, it wasn't that big of a deal. I did, however, correct that bottom portion. I wanted it to be closed and it was just kind of off a little bit. So I just wiped it off with a little bit of Young Nail Swipe. That is my go-to for cleaning, prepping, and all of the above. Just on my 3D brush, I took that and I wiped it off. Once that is nice and dry, I'm gonna be going back in with that white and fixing my number 8. And then we're gonna be adding the 7 kind of intertwined into the 8 so that it looks like it's all connected. And I feel like that was like the perfect touch to it. If I would have done it separately, it wouldn't have looked as cute. So I'm kind of starting off middle of the top circle of the 8 and then just doing that like curved type of number 7. Now we pretty much had finished up and I was not happy about the fact that the matte really kind of just covered up the entire icicle nail. So I asked her if it was okay if I added shiny top coat, and she agreed. So we went ahead and did that to both of the icicle nails, and it was definitely a great alternative. 100% do not do matte over it. And then I realized that I had already added cuticle oil, so I went ahead and wiped it off and then re-top coated it. If I would have just gone in, it definitely would have bubbled and left little craters. So if you guys are ever concerned of your top coat having craters, it's probably because there's some type of oil, even if it's from your finger, that can cause the little craters and the separation that we typically get. Now, once everything is dried and out of the light, I am going in with my signature scent from Profiles Backstage, Cuticle Oil in Sweet V. It is my collab with them. I mentioned this a lot in my videos, so definitely check it out if you guys want a really good smelling cuticle oil. Blending that into her skin. And that pretty much concludes today's video. Let me know what you guys think down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a ton, and I'll see you guys next time.